Hello, in this video we're going to go through and show how to prepare a scene to be rendered within Hyperwave. So first off, I have an older animation file that I created years ago, and the sequence is 130 frames long. So in the sequence, the character is going to be walking up some stairs, looking at a reference book, and like does a blinking somewhere, and then kind of continues on. That's really it. So for this scene, there's importantly there's a shot 3 camera that's the only camera we care about. And as we look at the outliner, a few of these references might not be contained within, right? So there's the book, there's the character, there's the environment. So we'll have to do some steps for those to be able to take care of it. I don't know if the existing textures are there or not, so I'm just going to go ahead and import that. And then we'll do the same thing with, well, that might have been everything. I'll just do everything again, just so that it's fully contained and will work for a rendering. Actually, I don't see the option for importing anymore, so I think maybe at that point it's good. So what we'll do is, now that we have everything self-contained in this file, well, we're going to just do a quick save, but then we'll do an export operation. Sorry, an archive scene operation, where it'll save to C render shot 3 new facial expressions.mb.zip. Okay, so next we will pause and then open up over on Hyperwave to send it for rendering. All right, now that we're over and logged into Hyperwave, we can go to workload patterns and render Maya animation. And for this one, we're going to drop in that archive scene zip. So if we click on documents, I moved this to a different computer because this is the one I interface with Hyperwave on. So we'll go ahead and put that there. I don't want this to take a long time, so I'm just going to render at 360. And if you recall, our camera name was shot 3, and our output result will make it a zip of all rendered frames. And we'll just render the entire thing, so we'll do frame 1 through 130. All right, so if we submit the Maya job from here, it'll upload the zip file. I think the zip file ended up being about 130 megabytes. That's a bit much. Maybe there's some extra textures and things that weren't quite used in it that I didn't clean up correctly, but that's okay. So that will go through and upload in small segments. So if you have a file that's more than a gigabyte, more than 2 gigabytes, that's fine. It'll stream on the way there, and if there's a some kind of network blip, it'll be able to continue on from there. There were some earlier options for different file types, but ran into some issues with the missing textures. Really, that's the problem. So when we archive the scene, we'll be able to restore a similar file structure to what was initially there, map the textures, and be able to render on each node that is going to process the frames. So it's just about done. And job submitted successfully. Great. So we'll hit OK, and then we'll remember that it's shot 3. And we'll go over to my jobs, and let's see. So this is the one, shot 3, new facial expressions. It'll be in new status until it completes processing. For this one, I'm going to only have one computer doing the processing behind the scenes, but I'm going to pause here, and we'll see the result when the rendering operation is done. All right, now that the job is done, I'll go ahead and click the download button. And yeah, it did take quite a long time, but and I had 2 different failed attempts because I ended up, each frame was taking I think about 4 to 6 minutes each. So I figured I'd hook up a second PC to process the load, and I just kind of walked away, and now that I came back, it's done. So I already did a test download. It's about 340 megabytes, and kind of this is the experience you'll get, is that at the end of the process, it'll zip all the files up into the XRs, which from there you can take and either drop into your video editing software or use other tooling to um, generally piece together your animated video file. Okay, so now you can see that the output has downloaded. And if we just randomly sample a few frames, you can see that uh, it did render as we expected it to. Maybe it's a little bright, but that's probably the lighting in the scene. And overall, uh, the animation rendered as expected. So that's all for this one. Uh, Please reach out if you have any questions. Thank you.